And the next thing that I want to do is put a little handle on one side. I could even put little swirlies on both sides, but today I'm going to do a one-sided handle. And I want this handle to be a little bit understated, kind of an adornment. You're not really probably going to use it to pick up the pot, but it's going to add such a nice element to it. Okay, so it's wider here. See that? It's wider at the top and it tapers to the bottom. It's got a nice thickness from the side. And now I'm going to set it down on this little square bat and cut it off. So I've got a lot of thickness at the bottom. I'm going to save some of it. I will use that when I attach it. And then I want a pretty good bit of thickness at the top. So this is probably about 4.5 inches long. I'm going to go ahead and get another one. It really wants to stretch now because I've already worked on it. Sometimes you need to really watch your strap and make sure that all the sides are the same. So now it's really stretching, so I'm pulling it down. You know, it's not that it's hard to pull handles and to make handles. It just takes a lot of practice. So don't get discouraged. Keep at it. If you put it on the pot and you hate it, cut it off and do it again. It's only clay. Okay, now I'm going to set this down on my square bat. And again, I've got another one. All right? So this might be too big. I don't know yet. I'm going to hold it up to the pot and pull it off the pot and decide. So here it is in all its splendor. I think I'll use my little Exium scoring tool. Nice, I love this little baby. Now, before you decide where you're going to put your handle on, make sure there isn't anything that you desire to hide. This one doesn't have anything I need to hide, and I'm going to apply it right between this portion of the neck and this part of the body. So I'm just going to go ahead and score it now. Don't worry if you score a little too far. You can always clean it up later, but don't not score enough. And if you'll notice, I'm pretty aggressive in my scoring because I want this join to be fixed from the get-go. Now, if it comes up a little bit and down, I'm probably going to land right about here. I don't even have to score this bottom, but I'm marking it because I kind of want to know a little bit where my decision was. Okay, so now I'm going to put just the smidge of water, not much at all, because remember I just pulled the handle, so it's moist. And once I put the water on, I'm going to open it up again. This is a fully leather hard pot. It's not moving at all, but there's lots of moisture in it still. There's no white bone dryness showing at all, and that is what you want. So I'm going to pick one of these two handles. I just pretty much randomly picked it, and I know I want it to go up a little bit. So in order to do that, I'm going to cut this with a little bit of an angle upward. See that? Okay, that's going to be great because when I bring it into the pot, you can see it's lifting up. Look at that. Okay, now I'm going to work this into the pot. And normally I would have it facing me right like this. But that isn't going to teach you anything. So I'm going to turn it away from myself and let you see how I'm working this clay into the bottom of this pot right here. And I think I'm going to draw attention to the join by bringing my finger around and up. Can you see that? It's nice, right? Okay, now the next thing I want to do is pull this handle, and I'm going to work on the attachment right here just a little bit before I do. And this handle is actually going a little higher than I want, but it's going to turn. Do you see that? And come down and touch down here. So I don't need to pull much at all. Look at that. But I'm going to. So I'm going to cut a little bit of this off right there. And then I'm going to take a little moisture and apply it to this, just the littlest bit, and apply it to the handle so I can get it to taper just a little bit more and flow off of this pot even more beautifully. That feels good. And now I'm going to bring it down and touch down right where I scored. Look at all this clay that I have that I can still attach to the pot. Isn't that fabulous? And I am going to draw attention to the join up here. So now I'm pulling it down so that there's a real strong attention to the handle under. And then right here, I want to make sure I'm lined up straight up and down that way, right? So I'm going to turn it towards myself and scooch it over just a little bit to the right till it's straight up and down. And then I'm going to use all this clay and begin to push outward into the pot. And if you'll notice, I'm keeping a nice large lip on the bottom of it. So I'm going to thin it out a little bit more right there and a little bit more right there, and then let it come into a thicker dimension at the base. I'm liking it. I'm going to draw a little more attention to the attachment at the top by making it wider, coming out a little bit and down and closer to the pot. All these little elements are small, but so important, making a pot special. Just take your time and think about, how does it look from this direction? How does it look from this direction? How does it look from this direction? So the only thing I feel like I haven't done now is really address my negative space. And I think I'm going to do that now. Clean up that edge right there. I'm going to take my sponge and clean up right there. If you'll make clean pots, then you don't have to sand them when you put them in the bisque kiln. And trust me, that is a wonderful step to eliminate when you're making pots, right? So now I'm going to look at this space right here. Do I want it rounded? Do I want it more teardrop? I have to make that decision. And because the body of this pot is pretty wide, I'm going to choose to make this a little more rounded, kind of like the body of the pot. See there? So I've attached my handle. I'm going to take 1 drop of water and drop it up here at the top and into my seam. Make sure I'm put on really strongly. I'm actually going to love how the glaze is going to fill down in there where the handle's coming up off the pot. But that, my friends, is a beautiful handle. And I feel like it's weight and balanced really well with this form. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope to put this pot in our Kazagama kiln and have wood ash and soda have its way and make beautiful things on the surface of this piece. Try to make one. You can do it. It's only clay.